Hello everybody, hopefully you're doing well and staying safe. We will continue with our lesson, Classifying Life. Our first topic of today's lesson is about Kingdom Bacteria and Kingdom Archaea. Both of these kingdoms include organisms that are very simple unicellular organisms with lack of nucleus and mitochondria. Organisms in these kingdoms are actually found everywhere, from your hand to your food, even inside your body. They're found everywhere. So the question that comes in our mind is that are all of them harmful? Because as we know, some of the bacteria can cause disease and infection such as strep throat or food poisoning. But many bacteria just live with you and produce no harmful effects. In fact, some bacteria and archaea are useful and helpful to other organisms. For example, cows cannot digest the grass they eat without the help of archaea. When the cow stores the chewed grass in a place within the stomach, this organism in the cow's stomach, the archaea, breaks the grass down so the cow can digest it. Even humans need bacteria and archaea for digestion. Bacteria in your intestine help you break down the food. They also produce the vitamin K your body needs. There's something special about the archaea. For example, the archaea that lives in the stomach of cow are members of the archaea kingdom, and the special thing about the archaea kingdom is that they can live in extreme conditions such as this hot volcanic vent, and they can even live in the extreme cold polar regions. Now we will talk about the Protist Kingdom. Protists are unicellular or multicellular organisms that either make their own food or eat other organisms. Protists are quite bigger than the bacteria cells. For example, 100 or even 1,000 of bacteria cells might fit into a typical protist. Even though protists are also microscopic, but for example, amoeba, which is 0.5 millimeters in width, is barely visible without a microscope. Apart being larger than bacteria, the cell of protists have a central nucleus and other membrane-bound organelles. But for example, animal, plants and fungi, they have different kind of organelles inside their cells and specialized tissues. But protists, they have very simple body structures. Some of the examples of the Protist Kingdom, for example, Protozoa, all right, which looks like an animal-like protist. We have the algae, which is photosynthetic, which means it makes its own food like the plants, but it is a protist. And then we have the slime molds, which looks like a fungus, but in reality it is a protist. Now we'll move to virus and talk about what is virus. After long conclusions, scientists believe that viruses are not living organisms. They cannot be classified in any of the 6 kingdoms because they do not carry out all the basic life processes. Even though viruses carry out only one of the basic life process, that is reproduction, but still viruses need a host to do this process. A host can be any other organism. Viruses are very small and they can be only seen by powerful microscopes. Since the topic is about viruses, and we all know that these days we are going through a pandemic, COVID-19 virus, and this is how it looks like under a microscope, a coronavirus. Some of the viruses are not harmful, but some of them, they can be very dangerous. One of the dangerous example of virus is, we all are familiar with these days, is the coronavirus. So let us see how does a virus enters the cell and what does it do. A virus can enter a cell through different codings, Once the virus is inside the cell and it enters the cell, it takes controls of the nucleus, because we know nucleus is the control center. So by controlling the nucleus, the virus controls all the cell's activities. The virus orders the cell to make copies. In a minute or 2 million of copies are being made by that cell. Over the time, then the cell becomes filled with a lot of virus copies and it bursts opens. Now these release viruses can invade other cells, causing infection and diseases. After knowing the intruder virus inside the body, the brain orders all other parts to release heat in order to kill the intruder virus, which is causing the disease inside the body organs. In this way, the body starts to feel very tired and temperature goes up, because from inside the body is fighting against that virus. People with good health and diet, they have a strong immune system, a strong defense system which fights against the virus and kills it.